Konnichiwa and irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium, coming to you live from Tokyo, Japan. This is Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games, and all of the table tennis action is going down inside of this beautiful metal arena. This is the schedule left for the day, just one match. It is the men's team classes 1 and 2 gold medal match, France versus Korea. And this should be quite exciting. Some names we've already seen and look forward to seeing again out here.
No doubt, 2 bronze medalists from men's singles class 1 against the winner of that same competition, France against Korea. So I'm sure we've saved the best for last at this Tokyo 2020 Paralympic tournament.
Look how long those pips are on the table, those bumps standing tall like a cornfield on the back of a racket. The equipment on the table made specifically for Tokyo 2020, the San-e motif. T as in Tokyo, also T as in TT, table tennis. We'll talk to you about the difference in equipment, why equipment matters, the rules of the game, the classifications of the Paralympics in just a bit. But first, we'll give you a chance to meet the athletes, the legends that will be battling for gold out here in the men's teams classes 1 and 2 gold match battle between France and Korea. So just a reminder, the format will be doubles, followed by singles, and if it should be needed, a deciding match. It'll be a third match, which would be the second singles. French delegation here jamming out in the crowd, getting ready, tweeting their friends, Instagramming their friends. The Korean crew posing for some selfies to post in the same places, and coaches and other Paralympians sit anxiously awaiting the excitement that lies ahead to cheer on their teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes for the men's team class 1 to 2 gold medal match.
男子団体プラス1 to 2決勝戦選手入場です。
Team France!
And here comes the French team in the front. It is Fabien Lamiro. Lamiro, 41 years old and world rank #1. And next to him in front of the blue side of the flag, Stéphane Moléance, world rank #5 in class 2.
And together at least for the next half an hour, maybe more, still the reigning team champions in this class.
Well, that is quite an impressive feat, getting through Slovakia without dropping a game in the semi-final. We'll talk a lot about the tactics in classes 1 and 2 and the clever shots you will see. But here is Team Korea, representing South Korea. On the right, Cha Soo-young. On the left, Park Jin-chul. And in the middle, Kim Hyun-uk. Kim Hyun-uk, world rank #5 in class 1, but he will be sitting this one out, supporting the team from the bench. An important role. But the two playing, Park Jin-chul on the left, now in the back, 39 years old, world rank #3 in class 2, and leading the line, Cha Soo-young, 41 years old, world rank #4 in class 2. It's his second appearance at the Paralympic Games. And only against Poland did they drop a game. I think Chuper, Rafał Chuper was the one to put a dent in the record on the other side.
That was it, and these are the silver medalists from Rio. In a repeat of that final, no doubt searching their revenge and at gold.
So we will get into the coin toss here. Again, this is a look at the format. In the overall team matchup, first team to win 2 matches takes the gold medal. They'll start with doubles, which has the, I'd say, the greatest chance for an upset in general. It's the most suspenseful, up-in-the-air battle. Coin toss here is to determine who serves and where the players start.
And from Japan,
French win the coin toss, I think, receive.
ladies and gentlemen, the officials.
審判のご紹介でした。
Could have misheard it. Either way, we'll find out when they come back who's serving, who's receiving, and where the players sit.
Seeded 2.
So the classifications for the Paralympic Games, there are 11 different classes. The lower the number, such as 1, the lowest, the greater the impairment. So classes 1 through 5 are for players in wheelchairs. Classes 1 and 2 have the least mobility. So that means there's a lot of creative play, from high arcing tetra shots that come back over the table to a variety of rubbers, and really a thinker's game in addition to, say, the quick reactions near the table.
They beat Slovakia 2-0.
Yeah, and we do have 3 out of 4 medalists in men's singles class 2 from this tournament at the table. In the end, it could be anyone's match.
It will be interesting to see. Now, normally the Korean wheelchair players have a very strong record over their opponents, but as you mentioned, the defending champions, the French men, at least in the first singles, this man right here, a father of 3 who started table tennis only at the age of 20. So if you think, I mean, we've met people here that have started at 45 and are Paralympic medalists. So it's never too late to start. With focus
Seeded number 2
and time and practice, you can do anything. But
41 years of age, world
it is Fabien Lamiro, the 41-year-old, who has a 7-4 record over Cha Soo-young. So he would be the favorite. The French would be the favorite to win that first singles match. So Korea's going to have, I'd say, a really big task here to take the doubles to set them up with the start and send it to a deciding third if Cha Soo-young cannot take the singles over Lamiro.
Class 1. Here in Tokyo.
So checking the equipment, it's very important to know what your opponent is using, what pips are on which side. Pips, for those of you newer to table tennis, are the bumps that look like Legos. The longer they are, the more defensive and slow they play. But depending on how much sponge is underneath, will determine how long it sits, how fast you can hit the ball. Long pips, typically a defensive rubber for spin reversal. Shorter pips for flat hitting a little bit more, and the inverted rubber that looks smooth tends to be very spinny. You'll see players cleaning the racket by breathing on it to move the dust, remove it from that top sheet to make sure they can spin the ball and attack or curve it from anywhere they need.
And these players, being representatives of classes 1 and 2, are bound to use at least one type of pimpled rubber on the racket, so we'll be seeing a lot of it in this double. Something to pay attention to for all of them.
So in the wheelchair events, normally in singles, the serve would have to come off the back of the table eventually, but in doubles, so long as it's cross-court from the right side of the table to your opponent's right side, the serve is fine. It can come off the side, stay short. It would be a bit risky in the gold shoes of Park Jin-chul are back. This will be the team matchup to determine if the shoes match the medal color. Don't get me wrong, I mean, silver is outstanding nonetheless, but being here and having those shoes, I mean, you wouldn't want to disappoint the shoes, right?
Well, silver is great, but gold is always better.
And then if we go to a third match,
indeed.
it will be
so Moleon's here, the left-handed player. Can you tell us a little bit about why you might not want to have a right-handed, left-handed combo in wheelchair doubles?
Yeah, unlike what we're used to in standing doubles, here the players wouldn't alternate between the shots, but remain at their position for the entire time during the match, so each of them can take the ball, and it's this middle ground between the two players that is the most tricky for them to decide which one will take the ball. When we have this combination of a right-handed and a left-handed player, what we can see with the French, it means that they will always have either both of them their playing arm aimed towards that middle, or both of them the playing arm away from the middle, which makes it even more tricky for them to take this decision who will go for the ball and how to cover it the best possible.
So as we might have mentioned before, normally in, let's say, standing doubles, you must alternate shots, but here in the wheelchair event, After the serve, anyone can play. Sometimes people will pin the ball on a player they think is less dangerous, keep playing to the weaker of the two. But you don't have to alternate shots. So that middle of the table can be a very, very sensitive spot to cover where you have to coordinate and make sure that you're in good communication so that you don't hit the racket of your teammate, and that also both of you don't think the other one has it and you let it go down the middle.
Yeah, the only thing the players also have to be careful about is that the wheelchair, neither of their wheelchairs is allowed to cross this middle line, but of course the player with the body is allowed to play wherever on the table.
So you can reach across the line, but the chair stays on its side. The first point for the French here. The Koreans starting with the serves. So the Koreans making good of their second service opportunity. Lamiro now will signal to his teammate what he plans to serve. Good placement into the middle. Now again, you've got the left-handed, right-handed combination with their forehands to the corner of the table, which means the middle is going to require both of their backhands, which is often uncomfortable. That means you've got the longest way to go from the shoulder of the arm holding the racket. And just long on the spin shot, the backhand attempt, so the Korean pair now up 3-1. By the way, shout out to the officials Khaled Zaki of Egypt and Higashijima Masae of Japan, our assistant umpire. Ooh, dribbler in the touch game, crawls over the net.
Now you've seen the French alternate their positions after Lamiro finished serving. This ensures that throughout this entire game we will see the same server to receiver combination.
We just saw a short serve, well received there. Moleons gets right in behind the net. Now for me, style matchup, when I think the Korean doubles pair, I think attacking, I think aggressive play. When I think of the French, I think of side spin. For the standing players, for the seated players, there's the Lamiro wheelie. Love that. Now here's a question for you. He's wide, and in table tennis, you don't have to hit it over the net. You can hit it around the net so long as you hit your opponent's side. Have you seen someone playing around the net shot, like a roller?
No, and especially we can't, I think, expect it too much here with classes 1 and 2, or all of them class 2 in this case. However, with the tetra shots, it might come across.
So back in front by 3, the Korean pair.
Here Lamiro has some problems with apparently his ritual of bouncing the ball against the floor before serving. Of course, this slightly soft Terraflex floor doesn't allow for that.
Right, they put extra padding, sort of a layer between the floor and where the players actually are to protect the knees and the body, prevent injuries. Oh, outstanding placement here. High with back and side spin to get out of reach.
And for wheelchair players, it's less sliding with the tires against the floor.
That's interesting. I guess they've all been classes 1 through 5 on table 6 the entire tournament, so maybe they cater to the players in wheelchairs specifically with the flooring for this court.
Just having a look, I would say it's the same as for the standing.
It definitely looks quite the same, but 11-4 here, the Korean pair take game number 1. So tight in the beginning parts of the game, but a runaway at the end. The Koreans doing exactly what they need to do. Get their quick start here in doubles. Game number 2 coming up in just a bit. Players back to the table for game number 2. You can hear the French contingent, the fans in the crowd, and the players, the staff mostly. Allez, 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 let's go. Trying to will their players into it after an 11-4 victory for the Korean pair, who cleans their top sheet of rubber to get ready for the spin game. So Stéphane Moléans with the serves to start. Cha Soo-young will be playing the first single. He's the receiver here. Right-handed Korean, both right-handed for that matter. But the one on the receive. Ooh. And a gift here, Omiyage from Moléans.
Quick signal to L'Amigo.
Says a lot of backspin on it, stays very short. This might sound like a funny question. We know the serve can come off the side in doubles. If it comes back into the net, is that allowed?
Oh, I should think so.
I guess it'd be very difficult to execute just perfectly, especially only serving to half of the table. It's always funny when you're warming up, you've got 4 people there and only playing with 2 of them, and the others are like, hey, when do we get in? Sort of how that point looked from the start. But of course, tactical. Trying to find some confusion. Maybe the sleeper tactic you talked about.
Yeah, sometimes concentrating on one of the players and then quickly switching to the other just to catch him off guard.
One of the reasons it's so important to always be prepared for when the moment comes in life and at the table. Not the first time we've seen this. That tomahawk serve with a lot of side spin, and it kicks really wide. I mean, a lot of standing players, if they've not played against this type of spin, would even touch this ball. They'd just be diving, running. So perfectly out of reach. So this setup really seems to be favoring the French pair. I mean, they've passed their score by a few points already. Game number 1, they were beaten 11-4, and with this order of play, the opposite order, 6-1 they lead.
It can happen a lot, especially with the serve, that one combination just works better for you than the other.
Well, the Koreans now with a bit of defensive play, 2nd point on the scoreboard. Now, should this come down to game number 5, they will switch not only halves of the table when one team gets to 5 points, but also the order of service and receive, so that there's as little imbalance or unfairness as possible. Keep things exciting and close.
There's that middle. Both of them go in for it and then moving away when they sense their partner.
I feel like every time we start to get close, you just pull away.
Just have to find the middle ground.
Well, I'm willing to work on it. The tetra just wide here. So now a score line that puts the French just 1 point closer, 3 away from securing the game. 5 points in front. Second serve here for Cha Soo-young. Both of the French players contributing quite a bit here from either side of the table. Much more comfortable this time around with the control game, being very selective about when they choose their attacks.
At least Lamiro's not giving up on his pre-serve ritual.
I like that persistence. One of the Grand Slam champions of table tennis has that tattooed along his shoulder blades. Maybe Lamiro does as well. Who knows? Probably a lot of people. 7 game points for the French. Clean backhand from Park. Now these are the types of shots that I expected to see more of from the Koreans, but the control game and the variation in the spins from the French haven't allowed for such clean attacks throughout.
Yeah, and it's a difficult thing to do in the doubles when you have so many combinations of these pimpled rubbers.
The combinations all work out, so as they unstrap the rackets and get ready for game number 3, it is a dead even split, not only in games, but in points. They've each scored 15 points total between their 2 games, so as even as can be. We'll see what happens in game 3. Don't go anywhere. Players back to the table for game number 3. The Koreans with the serves, but the momentum on the side of the French, although this was the order of play that favored the Korean pair, so suspense here, pretty high factor for me. By the way, in classes 1 and 2, players don't always have much control with their hands, so sometimes you'll see the rackets strapped in, as 3 of the 4 players have.
Some patient game at first. Moyen's trying to put some pressure on the pair from Korea.
That's the first time I've seen that happen in some time, where you could clearly see and hear a racket hitting the other racket from behind. Maybe taking the control factor out. I think they're trying to avoid the backhand of Park Jin-chul. Cha Soo-young, outstanding control, but not quite the power. There it is, that floor. It's such a great comedic gag, too. You expect it to come up, and it just, like an egg in a frying pan, that you don't expect to bounce.
This is what counts though, that serve then. And they're successfully finding that long middle between the two Koreans.
Cha Soo-young really putting in some effort here to get that serve to the short forehand, though. He wouldn't have it one more time. Needs to reach it.
Yeah, Park had even more problems with it in the previous game.
How sweet is that wheelie that Lami Ro does?
Yeah, that's because some players, especially in the lower classes, have their front wheels blocked so that the wheelchair wouldn't move left and right and bring them out of balance.
Oh, they locked the front wheels.
Yeah, so that's why he has to turn the wheelchair as he does.
Wow. I thought it might have been a bit of peacocking or something out here, but it's actually practical is what you're saying, a functional move.
Yeah, it's the only way he can do it because, yeah, the front wheels would only move backwards and forwards.
Well, that doesn't stop it from looking cool in my book. I mean, I don't know if you've seen videos online of people riding on their back tire on motorcycles with someone else on the back. Wouldn't recommend trying it, but you have to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, well, I could assume that that's what landed some of these players here, so.
Well, if either one of us had to say that, as a three-time Paralympian in the wheelchair events, I think you are the perfect one to make that comment. 4 points to 3, the French pair in the lead.
Well, all joking aside, traffic accidents are one of the most common causes of injury and para or tetraplegia as a consequence.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of reading to see where they acquired, because not everyone acquired being in a wheelchair, but a lot of the players did in traffic accidents, you're right. Good touch shot from Moleons to keep it low, and that Park backhand shut down once again. If they can keep it low and keep it baseline, it's not going to be a high percentage shot, even with the backhand that Park has.
Well, that one was almost around the net, which is what you were looking for.
I like that. I like that off speed, just something to mix it up. And it's down below the table, side and top spin, follows it up with the big backhand. But the French defense has been strong. Oh, it doesn't miss by a lot. It's funny, Tetra shots in certain events are often an accident of this sort, off the top edge of the racket. But it's not that different, tactically speaking. I mean, it gets a lot of backspin and it goes really high.
Not what he meant to do, but I think it just, the length of the ball surprised him a little bit.
While this one gets away, I will say his service, the danger of serving that is, I mean, he's received so many rewards already with outright service points and setting up third balls. That serve, this ratio is working out well, I would say, for Lami Ro.
6-6 now, though.
3 in a row for the Korean pair. That's excellent communication down the middle of the table from the French pair. I mean, really, Lami Ro was right over in the space, but back and forth, the give and take, they were just so on the same page throughout that point. And then there's this. Very deceptive shot right down the middle, leaves both of them with the, oh, I thought you were going to answer. I thought you were going to answer. Maybe once or twice per match we see that happen.
Yeah, and again, it's not only about the placement of the ball, it also really matters into which direction it's going.
Yeah, that one had side spin on it as well, so there were a lot of different factors to consider. It's one of the beauties of the sport. There's so many different factors you need to consider in any given moment, and always possibilities. Korean pair down by 2 on the serves. It's funny, on the opposite extreme, we saw a lot of the women's Team China doubles pairs covering the middle with 2 swings every single time. No ball left behind. 8 serving 9.
Great defense, first of all, by Mollens.
It's very impressive when you're playing. It's sort of like a ticking time bomb. They're just waiting to see who opens, and then the Koreans come in with the big attack. But as you mentioned, Mollens' defense, and now 2 game points for Lamiro and Mollens. And that deep ball with residual side spin on it, the curve, the bend off the pip side of the racket. The French fans on their feet now. The stomping will continue. It's a 2-1 lead. France just 1 game away from getting a match, and Korea with an uphill battle looking to send it to the decider. Game number 4 coming right up.
Back we are for game number 3 at this men's teams class 1 and 2. Game number 4, excuse me, of course, with the French having a chance to finish it off. The first team to reach 3 games wins the match, comes into the lead in this team event. And the French serve.
Now demonstrating a bit of his power here, Cha Soo-young coming out with the big attack. Now remember, in the next match, which is a must to be played, Cha Soo-young will play. The French are finding that place so well. You can feel sort of the confusion on who's to take that shot. The Korean pair both going for it, but there seems to be a little bit of hesitation or competition for the space. Obviously, they're trying to work together.
Yeah, they're really consistently going for that middle now, and just occasionally switching it up a little bit.
Doesn't miss by a lot, but the second time there, even more pressure. The Korean pair trying to use some side spin earlier in the rally to set up a higher ball to attack.
Because the trouble is that if you're always just going for that middle, sooner or later, the opponents will come into the rhythm and just develop a system of when which player is going for that ball. So you'd want to avoid that happening.
That said, until someone shows you that they've figured out how to respond to it, sort of like the don't fix it if it ain't broken mantra. Proverb?
This is the serve that has been working for Lamiro and the French.
Moléance on the defense has been outstandingly stable. We've got walls in Germany. I think we found our wall in France.
And Park was good to anticipate this, and even though he was brought quite far away from his position 0, he still defended really well.
And short serve attempted, but it stays on their own side. Has to be extra short with the reach of Moléance. Can hear the chant, "Fighting" or "fighting" from the Korean crowd. Always tough to get yourself back up. You mentioned even in class 3, you can see players constantly pushing themselves up off the table after leaning in for a shot, but in classes 1 and 2, even tougher to recover. I guess depending on the specific diagnosis or what the impairment is.
But that is one of the factors that brings into which class you'll be classified. So yeah, balance matters a lot.
And from what I understand, they've developed a classification system over the years, so you'll see people who used to compete in one class competing in a different class later on.
Yeah, it can turn out during the competitions that they were classified wrongly, or some people also have diseases that deteriorate over the years, so they would later play in a lower class.
Secret.
I'm not entirely sure that the French could understand, even if it was said in Korean, but you never know. Better to be careful.
Yeah, we do see that a lot. Players not speaking out loud in their native language on the assumption the opponents won't understand. We actually find out after the match that the French pair were both born and raised in Korea. Moved to France for high school and then became Paralympic athletes later on.
No, that was not the case.
So we believe. Good times. 6 points apiece here at the second towel break. Lamiro with that deadly tomahawk serve to come. And once again, an outright point. So subtle on the contact. Again, it's not always how much spin is on the serve, but how difficult it is to read.
Yeah, but this serve is also really, really short and going off the table wide out, so that's a bit of a problem here. Yeah, and then Park has moved so far out to get to that serve, so it's easy to get him on the other side of the body.
It's the first time I've seen that, a little mini traffic accident here.
A lot of dancing around the table.
Yeah.
Happening in doubles. But in most cases, the two partners also have a system for that, not only for what happens on court.
Well, Park right there with the system to destroy the ball with his backhand. That's the shot, the real standout shot from the Korean side. Park Jin-cheol's backhand. And once again, it comes into play. They're able to earn themselves a ball that moves back to the middle, and Park covers the middle with that dangerous backhand shot to tie up the score. This is big because the French, if they can't hang on, are going to have to come into Game 5 with momentum on their opponent's side, which is exactly what Korea needs, their only chance to take this doubles match against the defending gold medalists.
Yeah, and with Cha having to face yet again another gold medalist in the next single, that's even more important.
So the French up by 1 point, a second serve here, a chance to earn 2 match points. A little bit of the Lamy row ritual.
Yeah, he has a graduation in psychology, so perhaps he's using some of that here.
Wow.
Also his last Paralympic performance, as he intends to retire after Tokyo.
Moleons?
Yes.
Well now.
Perhaps a bit surprising knowing that the next Paralympics will be in France, but still.
Well, not yet 1 match point saved here. The Koreans will not lie down. Still 1 more match point to go for the French pair. A timeout on the French side, a little conversation in the corner. The Koreans actually first to get to the corner, but whenever the French pair decide the timeout is over, or at 1 minute, whichever happens first, they will be back at the table. Now there's only 1 timeout allowed per side. So the French pair using theirs, the Koreans, in case they need it, we'll see. They'd have to go to Game 5 at this point, or have a long extension here in the extra points that could come here in Game 4.
Yeah, but it is with the aim of finishing this game to their advantage. The French took the timeout. They have no interest in Game 5.
Yeah, Game 5's like, but please, like, no, sorry, no interest. We're not really into you, Game 5. This could be a commercial here.
Another former French Paralympic table tennis player in their corner.
It's always nice to have the words of wisdom from someone who knows what it's like to be in your seat. So back from the timeout, we'll see if the conversation left the French pair well prepared or if the Koreans benefited from it more. Second match point for the French pair. As Lamy row gets settled and strapped in, it'll be Cha Soo-young to start right back from the timeout against match point. Oh, the Koreans save a second match points. You could feel him fishing around, just digging for that backhand, for a little bit of confusion from the Korean pair. And Park really never came in with the forehand shot to cover the middle. It was just Cha controlling.
Lamy row will have to make good use of his serve advantage now.
Well, he's been doing it typically throughout, only 1 serve given away. Almost everything else has been quite effective. Nice combination.
This is the perfect way to do it, yes.
That first one with the backspin hooks and curves into the forehand, and then the follow-up backhand right down the line. Third match point for France. And we got a timeout on the Korean side. Wow, we didn't wait too long between the timeouts. It's like when you see someone and then come back from the bathroom and you're like, hey, long time no see, what's new? Like, I just saw you a minute ago. I mean, this was probably less than a minute that they had their last time out.
Yeah, but the Koreans serve now, and they do need this point to stay in the match, so I wouldn't say it's exactly surprising.
They did have the serve before as well, interestingly enough. Remember, Cha came back for his second serve? I mean, it wasn't their call, so the conversation might be a bit different. Looking down at the scoreboard, it's another match point for the French pair. So remember, Korea needs to win this game to send it to the decider. They're down 1-2 in games right now. And taking the doubles, I mean, you only have to win 2 matches in the team format, so doubles could be very telling.
In, I would say, about 90% of the team events we've seen, it was the team that won the double that also took the overall match. However, some exceptions to that rule as well.
Well, I guess that's why you left 10% or so, right?
Yes, but well, to be honest, it's probably even more than 10. Less than 10% or more than 90% of those that need the double for a match.
Ooh, residual side spin. Lamiro from under the table, just behind the baseline in the middle, floats it up and long. And the battle continues here. The Battle Royale continues. Second deuce point. Again, they're alternating serves now until one pair gets up by 2 points to ultimately win the game. If it's France, it's the match. Good pressure here on the parallel, right into the body. Moléance, if this is his last Paralympic Games, he's definitely playing like it. No regrets. Fourth match point for the French. Allez, allez goes the stands.
Yeah, the French do have the loudest crowd actually in para table tennis. Oh.
Talk about guts, the timing. I mean, in doubles, it's really tough, but I can't recall the last time we saw a tetra intended out here.
That was close, but I think it will be difficult for the French to play game 5 if they don't manage to win this one after so many chances.
Ooh, right on the line there. Cha Soo-young with the touch game. So after saving, what, 4 match points, the Koreans now with a game point. This is the classic tale. The opponents had 4 opportunities, and at the first opportunity, we shall see. Service with Park. And Cha does it. Cha Soo-young pulls out the backhand attack, and after all of that drama with the back burn here, the rope burn on the back, it is the Koreans who take the momentum, take the game, and send this to the decider. So grab your snacks, grab your healthy drinks, and tell your friends where they need to be right here for the decider in the first match of the gold medal match for classes 1 and 2 in the men's team. Decider coming right up. Players back to the table, cleaning their rackets, getting prepared for the spins and the variety that they need to attack, to place the ball just out of reach, to defend, and get ready for the heat coming in. So many things to consider in any one shot, let alone the length of the rallies that we've seen so far. Vamos, they say. Heavy, heavy topspin deep to the table, right back at Park off the serve.
Probably thinking, had I done this just once in those 4 match balls.
Oh, nice counter. Clean as can be. The topspin comes in. The first attack of the rally gets doubled in pace right down the middle. You know, we did hear that vamos. Lamiro actually speaking Spanish. Rafael Nadal, his favorite athlete. Or hero, I should say. It's even a step up. One
But
point
he
apiece.
was into French boxing and handball before his injury, so he's into a lot of sports apparently.
How shocking was that serve? After all the different tomahawk heavy spin serves we've had from Lamiro, he turns the racket, plays it with the backhand side. Just a dead serve off those pips to the middle.
Yeah, but that's exactly what he should be doing. Just to avoid,
Predictability?
yeah, and Park becoming too comfortable. Now these backhand shots. Really great control over the middle ground.
I don't think I'm alone in saying this, but watching this played makes me want to try it the same way. It just seems so fascinating to have to react in such a short amount of time and be ready always.
My reaction would be, don't try this at home.
Really? Why not?
Yeah, well, maybe you'll tell me after you do try.
The suspense building in the commentators booth here, let alone on the scoreboard as the French lead 4-2 at the first towel break. They will switch sides when one pair reaches 5 points. But the Koreans fighting back, close the gap down to 1 point. Don't get me wrong, it looks very challenging, of course. I mean, you're looking at the best in the world right here fighting for the gold at the Paralympic Games. That's outstanding play with the side spin coming in. I haven't seen body language like this from Cha Soo-young. See how much side spin there was. That wrist shot, a strawberry from the back of the table from Moleons. And Cha Soo-young aggressively putting the pressure on over the table. And now the Korean crowd getting into it a bit. You can hear the whiting. So a little bit of momentum here as they switch sides. It's always nice to be able to change sides and order of play. Again, it's just the serve and the receive, so Whoever was serving the last serve for Korea will serve a second serve to a new receiver this time around.
And you could see Mollens lock those front wheels as well.
Can you think of any other player you've seen lock the front wheels?
Oh, a lot of them do it, especially in lower classes, just to avoid, if I'm being a little bit comical, the wheelchair running away from them, but it's actually just avoiding the wheelchair following your movement with the upper body too much and bringing you extra out of balance when you're making some difficult shot.
But well earned here, the Koreans set up a nice third ball attack and Park takes it home. 5 points apiece, dead even halfway through the deciding game. Whoever wins this first match, based on your predictions here, over 90%. It's been a very telling match. This doubles the first in the series here. So Korea was down 2-4. They've won 4 of the next 5 points. That is too good. So quick, just blitzes the net. Push game. Sits up just a little bit, and even on the drop, still catches that ball high enough to make a very impressive shot. Quite surprising, too.
But yeah, I actually wouldn't say so, because the setup for that shot was just too good to pass over.
Maybe surprising in the sense that he didn't allow much time for the receiver because he caught it so early. Not surprising that he would take it. Cha Soo-young quickly apologizing, saying, hey, you guys were having your standoff there. It was going fine. Not my place to get in. Didn't need to. Quick apology, but you can feel the sincerity out there. Very patient play from the French. Mollens looking for that middle again, hoping to catch some indecision between the Korean pair. Back once again, dead even, 7 points apiece. Serve-wise, he's been tricky throughout the entire match, but mixed it up with the pips not long ago. Lamiro with the serves. And a big touch point here. Korea sits up by 1 on the receive against a very dangerous server.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation for the French because they were counting on those serve points.
That shot is so baseline, right at the white of the table there. And residual side spin carries it back long.
And kudos to Lamiro to sticking to his guns even though the first serve didn't go their way.
That's true. Mentally, it can be quite challenging to go back to something that didn't work out recently in clutch, crucial moments here. Back and forth they go. Park with the serves. Good depth on this shot near the baseline. Lamiro fired up. Oh, an escape. I mean, in all honesty, that is not the receive you would intend.
Yeah, the problem here is that apparently Park has decided what he's gonna do with that return even before it came back, and when it wasn't placed perfectly for him, just brought him into trouble twice with the same shot.
So now what, 5th match point for the French pair. They're sitting on 2 right now, serves with Moléons. Nothing like a little bit of humor from the floor in tense moments. And there it is, the long serve, fast to the backhand side. Moléons and Lamiro secure the first match. The defending gold medalists have a big point on the scoreboard now. It is not over yet, but it is sure looking good for the French pair. We've got 2 singles left if the Koreans can get through the first. A well-fought battle down to the wire. Park Jin-chul near the camera and Cha Soo-young in the back with the glasses. An outstanding match, but in the end, despite saving many match points in the 4th to send it to the decider, we're just outplayed 11-8 by a fairly narrow margin here. And I'll be curious to see how this coming singles match will play out.
In the penultimate gold medal final. So we're through to our singles now.
So as they hydrate, the next singles you shall see will be Cha Soo-young and Fabien Lamiro. 49-45, the French pair. The racket handle's so bright, I thought they were highlighting and underlining the names and the top few stats there on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, and look at that match duration.
51 minutes. I don't think I've seen a best of 5 go over 50 minutes in any of the events that we've called.
So this could still be a long match unless the old and new Paralympic champion in men's singles class 2 can make it shorter for us.
Well, we shall see. Stick around, that match coming right up.
In Rio at the Paralympic Games. He won individual bronze here in males singles class 2, and Cha Soo-young is 41 years old and ranked number 4 in the world.
さあそれでは次の試合見ていきましょう。大韓民国からは41歳ランク4位のタ・ソーヤン選手です。2015年アジアチャンピオンです。17年には銀メダル、19年には銅メダルも獲得しています。2018年のアジアゲームス銀メダリスト、また団体でも結果を残しています。2017年金メダルは中国と台湾の大会で2つ、アジアゲームスでもチャンピオンになっています。世界選手権2014年銀メダル、リオでも銀、ここ東京では今回は、銅メダルという結果でした。
Fabien Lamiro, representing France, Paralympic champion from Rio, where he also won gold in the team event class 1 to 2. This improved on London 2012 performance, and team silver and singles bronze. Well, here in Tokyo, he's retained his title as Paralympic champion. He's the current European champion from Sweden in 2019, where the team also won gold, repeating his success in Denmark in 2015. The team gold was also theirs in Italy 2013.
Where to come back? We are at the first singles match in the men's team battle for gold in classes 1 and 2. France versus Korea. Cha Soo-young cleaning the table there to make sure he gets an honest bounce. No surprises from dust or broken rubber. So just looking for the ball here as they get into the 2-minute warm-up.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to need that if we want to decide who gets the gold here.
Yeah, we don't emphasize that enough in commentary, but the ball, very important to the sport. Fabien Lamiro, 41 years old. We were going to talk about that some more, but we thought, no, they probably know that. They probably, even if you're new to table tennis, you probably figured as much, because if you're watching, we already know you're smart. Cha Soo-young, 41 years old, world rank number 4 in class 2. A lot of experience. He's in his 2nd Paralympic Games.
8 times.
And Lamiro actually in his third Paralympic Games, a bronze in London in 2012, a gold in Rio in 2016. Players are ready for some action, it seems.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good warm-up, I would say, during those doubles match, since it took so long.
Sounded like they had a bit of music playing for the first point. Interesting. DJ having a good time here. Music's been outstanding, not gonna lie. But already a point on the scoreboard. Cha Soo-young waiting for something. All right, everything's squared away. Lamiro with 1 point.
It could happen that another match would be announced on the table number 2, but that wasn't the case, so they can continue playing.
Looking down at the equipment, a bit surprised there. Hitting it with the pips, thought he had the control he needed. I think table tennis players know that feeling well. That feeling of I did everything right, why didn't it go where it was supposed to? Lamiro on the aggressive, down the middle, hasn't dropped a point yet. The first 4 to start. Now head-to-head they've played 11 times. Lamiro of France has won 7 of those 11. That serve and attack so fast. Not a lot of time. I mean, he rushed the serve and came into the net to follow up with the quick pressure.
And we can see the individual styles of players come to life much more now during the singles event than before in the doubles.
So remember, France is playing for gold right now. Korea is playing for the 3rd match of this team tie to have a shot at the gold. Good variation from Lamiro. The first ball had so much spin, a lot of racket speed, and the strong defense, well calculated from Cha Soo-young, brings it right back to play. But Lamiro doesn't panic, doesn't fret, stays cool. This shot's just a bit too deep. The tetra near the baseline just allows plenty of time for Cha to put it where he wants.
Yeah, but not an easy one to bring back because it's so much towards the end of the table that you have to move away a little bit to have a chance. But it can also cost you losing your balance.
Which in table tennis is something very important to have, and especially in the wheelchair events, classes 1 through 5. So heavy spin and then good placement to the middle. Watch this wide to the forehand, and as he's rebalancing fast off the pips, right down the middle of the table. Good bend there on the receive off the pips. Side spin comes knuckling back.
Just a little bit too much towards his elbow to really get the right swing.
A long way to go for Cha, but he's starting to make his campaign to come back here. Oh, perfect shot, so quick, and again with those pips, to use them aggressively. This is an offensive use of a relatively defensive rubber. But that serve that we saw so effective in doubles comes out here to earn 5 game points for Lamiro of France. And deep to the corner, he moves it around well. You can see the frustration on Cha Soo-young. He'll have some adjustments to make before game number 2. But on his way, starting strong, the world number 1, Fabien Lamiro. We'll see what happens in game 2, coming right up.
est facile pour lui. Le revers, j'ai essayé une fois, mais à l'écraser. Je l'ai appelé.
Players back to the table for game number 2. Fabien Lamiro of France leading 1-0. This is a must-win for Korea and a chance for France to take it in 2 straight games, or matches, I should say. But if he does take the next 2 games, he'll take the match also. So if you're just joining us, strapping the racket into hand just because the hand itself might lack a bit of control through the palm and fingertips to really maintain control of the racket. So we'll see how this 1 minute in the corner changes things for Cha. That serve is so good, it just dances on the line and would have curved back in to come off the back of the table, the way a serve has to in the wheelchair events. Cha acknowledging his fortune here after an aggressive shot with the pips comes off the top of the net. A bit of a rhythm break, a little bit of fortune.
Giving it right back.
Cha Soo-young, a very generous individual, but in this moment, we'll be looking to play the serves on the table. Oh, that is re-gifting. I mean, it's tough right now. We talked about how crucial this game is, obviously, for Team Korea. Still the early parts of game 2. A long way to go. Better now than I think against match point.
No, but still, it's a difficult moment, and
Wait
well,
a second.
this is something we really don't see often.
3 in a row?
You'd almost think something happened to the ball, but that, of course, wouldn't be the case.
Or gravity, physics. Oh, nice inside-out forehand in the first rally we've seen in the last 4 points. Way to come back here after 3 serves had been generously given to the receiver.
Starting all over now.
Oh, nice placement just behind the net. Some side spin keeps it shallow. Cha now, score-wise, that streak. What, he was down 1-3, 3 in a row.
So if you thought this will be over fast, think again.
I remember you saying something about how close these 2 teams could be. that we could be in for a marathon medal match. Not just any medal, the gold medal. Just a reminder, the head-to-head favors Lamiro 7-4, but not overwhelming. Nice placement this time, way out to the forehand side. Slow and spinny, but just the precision in the placement. He turns on that so well from the middle, too.
Once again, Cha just too short to have enough control of his wrist and racket angle to make it back to the table.
It looks so dramatic when a player misses a shot and they're spilled out on the table with their head in their arm. But again, for these players, they're used to pushing themselves off the table to recenter, regain balance. So it might not be quite as emotional or dramatic as it looks, but emotions have been running high throughout the Paralympics. It's interesting, with the pip side of the racket for Cha, he demonstrated how easy it is to just sort of cover the place and float it back with backspin, but how much the ball springs off that inverted rubber when it's played on the spinny side.
Just point awarded to Cha, but Lamiro, after Lamiro said that it touched the table. And once again, Cha giving it right back.
It's gift number 3, I think, from Cha.
Doesn't seem to be in favor of his fortune here in this game number 2.
I think it'd be a funny business if a fan started a thank you card company for serves that were off the table from the other side.
So much spin in this one. Just what Lamiro does best with his serve.
And his placement, he's been varying it up so much. This time he goes to the backhand. Keeps the receiver guessing a bit, keeps him honest.
Again, with lots and lots of topspin. Slow, but spinny.
So now Lamiro with 2 game points to take a 2-0 lead. Let service.
Let. Not sure whether the umpires thought it grazed the net or it would be out. But since Lamiro didn't complain about an out, it was probably the net.
That was my thinking as well. Fast backhand here from Cha to save a game point. Crucial moment, remember, Korea's life is on the line right now. And a timeout on the French side with 1 more game point left. That's how important this moment is. It could be the turning point in the overall team contest between these two. I'm not just talking about Lamiro and Cha Soo-young. I'm talking about France and Korea. So what do you think the conversation is on the French side?
Well, it is probably just about the importance of bringing this one to a close, winning this 1 point and making life easier for themselves, basically.
Well, you can imagine he's aware of that, and also in terms of pressure, I mean, a coach, wouldn't that be funny if the coach is like, hey, this is the biggest moment of your life. This is it. Now, some people respond really well to that. They're like, yeah, and they step up their game. They thrive under pressure.
Well, that's the thing about coaching. You have to know your players really well, because extra pressure works great for some. Others could freeze under it, need just encouragement, third ones to calm down. There's no rule really, just knowing your player and knowing what to do in these kind of moments.
Well, a big moment, and back from the timeout, Lamiro burning the lifeline here. Will it pay off? He's on the receive. Cha Soo-young with the serve. Oh, goes for the big spinny forehand, but good placement here. Cha Soo-young saving 2 game points.
Yeah, generally speaking, it would have made more sense if Lamiro took a timeout when he's serving, but his serves went so well. He possibly felt he doesn't need it at that point.
So alternating serves from here on out. Oh! Well, I still don't think they're even. I think Lamiro actually would have to give another serve away just to keep it balanced, but obviously not intentional from either side. 3 points in a row, 2 game points saved, and now one of his own, Cha Soo-young with the serve. Fast and long to the deep corner. That was very close to the corner. A perfect serve, and Cha Soo-young exits the game with some serious momentum and still with his timeout, but Lamiro has no timeouts left, and they're tied up at 1 game apiece. This gets very interesting now.
Yeah, and Lamiro, had he left that serve alone, could have possibly called an out, but since he touched it, we'll never know.
Yeah, I was wondering, we have seen, by the way, times where someone plays a serve and then raises their hand because there's not enough time to really say something beforehand. What's your take on that? Can you clarify what sort of the rule of thumb is there?
You can do that if you do it kind of behind the end line of the table, because that's a point where it would be possible for the umpires to see where the ball has gone. If you do it kind of over the table, then there's no way of knowing would that ball go over the end line or not.
Interesting, interesting. Yet understandable as well. So to keep things interesting, the fighting spirit of the Korean team very much alive. 1 game apiece, only 2 points between them in the last. So tougher work here for Lamiro to take the match and take the gold medal for France with his teammate who helped him through the doubles. Cha Soo-young looking to involve Park Jin-chul in the final match.
Yeah, they had many match balls in the doubles as well, where they weren't able to bring it to a close. So we'll just see if Lamiro manages to come back from this loss here, or a missed opportunity.
Second serve here for Cha Soo-young. Little danger there, leaving it within reach on the backhand side wide. Lamiro able to play the angle, test the reach, the wingspan. And in classes 1 and 2, that's often the big question. There is less mobility, less recovery, so if you can play it out of reach, you're going to have a big advantage. Whereas in other events, there might be, say, a bit more footwork or wheel work here.
But another thing to consider that you can also bring yourself into more danger should that attempt come back at you.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of players play the ball wide, not ready to cover the even wider shot that comes back. So 3 points in a row after that first point goes to Cha. Lamiro with the momentum on the receive. Well played. Now this ball was a little bit higher from Cha, but it was right at the baseline, so it made Lamiro really move his upper body. Not an easy ball to attack after coming into the table.
No, a very difficult one actually to bring back at all.
Beautiful receive, but that was exactly the danger you were talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what can happen.
You think you've hit a shot to end the point. Your opponent gets there at full extension and plays it even wider out of reach to you, a taste of your own medicine. Scoreboard starting to get a bit heavy on the Lamiro side. Can Cha balance the scale here? Can he tip it a bit?
Yeah, with the French record of difficulties closing things up, one might think so, but this really is a big advantage now. In each case, it won't finish the match, so one more chance for Cha in game number 4, should he lose this one.
Well, so far he continues to extend his lead at the second towel break. Neither player going. Again, in classes 1 and 2, we see it a little bit less just because it's maybe more effort than it's worth, depending on the time. This is tough. But it just goes to show you how strong the receive is of Lamiro, that it puts that extra pressure on Cha to make the serves just that much more fine.
But it does surprise me a bit because on this level, we really are not used to seeing this many serve mistakes on both sides, not just Cha here.
Fair enough. A good serve set up for the last point to save game points. Still 6 game points for Lamiro.
It goes to show, though, that they're not backing down and playing it safe. And when you're searching for that perfect position, it can go long or short.
And Lamiro secures the game, a 2-1 advantage. France just one game away from a gold medal over Korea. Not there yet, but a fist clinch of encouragement. He's getting close. We shall see if Cha Soo-young can send it to the decider or if Lamiro can close the door on a gold medal. Game 4 coming right up.
While we have a break on table 6, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes for table 2, men's team class 9 to 10, gold medal match.
テーブル2男子団体クラス9 to 10決勝戦選手の入場です。
Team People's Republic of China.
中華人民共和国
Lian Hao. Zhao Yiqing. Team Australia.
オーストラリア
Joel Coughlin. Lynn Ma. Nathan Pelissier. And the umpires will be from from Venezuela.
審判ご紹介しましょう。まずベネズエラ
Ernesto Rivero, and from Sweden,
スウェーデン
Ingrid Bugren. Ladies and gentlemen, the officials.
審判のご紹介でした。
Players patiently waiting for the introduction of the other table's gold medal match to come in and finish. France's Lamiro, Fabian Lamiro leading 2-1 over Cha Soo-young of Korea. Game 4 to start. This one gets away, just slides off the racket, and Cha Soo-young with a bit of encouragement here to start off game 4.
He has to win this one. To at least give his team partner a fighting chance.
But we're seeing a different fight here, a different level of body language and intensity from Lamiro. Sometimes that's a sign of a player getting a bit ahead of themselves, but we'll see if the focus is still zeroed in.
Yeah, if you let your emotions get the better of you, it might be a little bit too early in the match to go there.
You can see him looking to the crowd after every point as he says, "Way, yes."
Yeah, Cha was trying here to move him from one corner to the other. And that's that perfect serve again. Right on the line and then spinning inwards. So no danger of a let. And these are particularly difficult to take too because they're going towards your body.
Speaking of which, a good receive right into the body. just inside the shoulder of Lamiro, which doesn't leave much room to really lean out of the way and create a forehand.
And that's just it. It's not over yet.
Excellent tetra.
One of the rare ones we saw throughout this match, but at a good time and just perfect length, or positioning better, because it was not long.
Just for the record, I think you said that perfectly. The perfect length, very short. I'm a little curious why we haven't seen more tetras. I mean, class 1 and 2, that tends to be such a common shot. Maybe just up to the individual skill sets of the players, what their strengths are.
Yeah, the one factor here being that Cha, for example, I think has a pimpled rubber on his forehand, and that's usually the side of the racket with which you would do the tetra shot.
We saw Jai Xiang, I think, using the backhand from all over the table, doing similar receives. Well, I guess a little lower to the net with his pips. Neck and neck here, point for point. Lamiro up by 1. Good side spin on that tomahawk receive.
And just the perfect time to take over the lead. And also making it a perfect time for a timeout on the Korean side.
He was saving it. It's nice to have a timeout when you need one. It's at a pretty, I'd say, crucial point here. 7-5, a 2-point lead for the French. Lamiro. See how much side spin was on that last shot. Not only does it make the ball curve, but when his opponent touches it, it makes it just really bend off the racket.
And that even against the pimples.
So conversationally, what do you think Cha needs to do out here to change the scoreline?
Win more points would be the easy answer to that.
It's probably what the coach said. What you need to do is go out there and win more points. Got it? Do what? Win more points. Okay, let me write that down. So cleans the forehand there, the spinny side of the racket, sometimes using a sweaty shirt for a little bit of moisture to remove the dust, then he'll dry it off. Cha Soo-young looking to, I'd say, calibrate to the side spin, maybe play the deep backhands a bit more. But he's gonna have to pin around, I think, looking for the inside of the elbow. To the backhand side of the elbow a bit to create an opening. Come in near the net. Let's see. Serve here with Lamiro, 2 on his side. Good pressure in near the elbow. He gets him to use the backhand a little bit from the forehand side, quite frankly.
Yeah, a difficult spot to bring the ball back, and good use of a return from Cha.
Ooh, stays on the Korean side. The topspin bringing it over after the bounce, so the point was already Lamiro's.
And we could see on the serve that Lamiro wasn't taking all too many chances with it. He served much more towards the sideline before.
Yeah, a bit more conservative play here, something to change it up. After all, we had a lot of service gifts so far this match.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, it's raining presents out here. 2 points away now from a gold medal, Lamiro. Not just Lamiro, but all of Team France, meaning him and Moléons.
Because tactic is one thing, but when the execution's not working for you, it's really frustrating, and I think that's what's partly happening to Cha here.
Outstanding defense from Cha, but it doesn't bother Lamiro, like a laser focused, and earns himself 4 gold medal points to retain the title and the gold medal for France from Rio 2016. And he's got the serves to do it. Will he go risky? Will he play conservative? Très bien! Outstanding, he does it on the serve. A gold medal straight up, and it is Fabien Lamiro who takes the gold medal. The French men have shut down Korea 2-0. Look at the crowd here, stomping, celebrating. And the man once again, I don't know if Moléons will retire, but if he does, he's going out on top. What a performance, the doubles and the singles to follow. A shutout for the French men. The gold medalists have retained their title, and the hugs all around Cha Soo-young. Despite having some serves not go the way he would have liked, a hug, real outstanding sporting spirit here. The compassion from the top athletes in the world. Again, Cha Soo-young and Park Jin-chol are excellent athletes and really classy men on the table.
Yeah, going away from this with a bronze medal each from the singles and a silver here. The French, Lamiro on the other hand, the second consecutive 2-time gold medalist here. And yeah, a perfect way to retire if he doesn't change his mind for Stéphane Mollien.
Well, we shall see. But what a moment here for the father of 3, Fabien Lamiro. He thanks the crowd for their support. It's the time to really celebrate. It took a lot to be here. We see the athletes, what we don't see sometimes, not quite as much, the coaches, the medical staff, the physiotherapists. The scoreline there, 3-1. And still, the adrenaline pumping right now, and the flag will fly high.
Now the French bringing out the flag, just like the Chinese after each team event and singles they won. And I think it really is Stéphane Mollien here enjoying his last moment on a Paralympic court.
Well, these are the types of moments that aren't easily forgotten. They're well documented and tough to really, I mean, you can relive them in your memory, but right here and now, the emotions run high because this is special. For you at home, to the TV, the charm of the champions from France. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much for all you've given us. And a very strong performance here in the men's teams classes 1 and 2 gold medal match. We will hear a new national anthem when we get to the victory ceremony. Here are the match stats on screen. Lamiro 43 to Cha Soo-young's 28, 37 minutes for a 4-game match. It's relatively long, but quick business overall. Average rally just 4 strokes. I mean, these players were very specific from the start of the points.
And when you add over 50 minutes of the doubles to this, you just see how long these two players needed to be at the top of their game, concentrated 100%.
So the Moleons family and the Lamiro kids and family as well, 3 children, will be looking at dad as proud as can be. When they get back to school, that's my dad. You got the newspaper this morning? That's my dad. Congratulations to the French men. An outstanding performance for back-to-back gold medals here in classes 1 and 2 of the men's team events at Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games.
On va être bien placé sur le podium. Oui. Marseillaise.
Lian Hao and Zhao Yiqing from People's Republic of China, 3-0, 11-3, 11-6, 11-9.
テーブル6男子団体のクラス9 to 10は中華人民共和国ダブルスペアあっという間に仕留めました3対0まず中国が1対0リードです
So let's take a look at the athletes in the two teams. People's Republic of China, Lian Hao, 26 years old, world ranked number 3 in class 10, double Paralympic champion with the team in Rio and in London. Zhao Yiqing, 28 years old, world ranked 7 in class 9, current Asian champion and Asian Games gold medalist. To get to this gold medal final, in the round of 16 they beat Indonesia 2-0, quarter-final they beat Great Britain, and semi-final they beat Ukraine, all of those being 2-0.
さあそれでは見ていきましょう中華人民共和国2人で臨んでいますリアン・ハウ選手とジャオ・イチン選手ですリアン選手は26歳ランク3位ということになっておりますクラス10ですダブルスパラリンピックチャンピオンですねリオとロンドン取っていますそしてジャオ・イーチン選手28歳ランク7位クラス9です現在のアジアチャンピオンそしてアジアゲームスでも金メダリストですここまで一つも落とさずやってきましたインドネシアそれから英国ウクライナに対して勝利して決勝進出です
So let's take a look at the Australian team. Joel Coughlin, 33 years old, world rankings 55. He's the Oceania champion in 2019. Lin Ma, 31 years old, world ranked 3 times world champion, won silver in the men's singles class 9 earlier in the week. And then Nathan Palicia, 25 years old and world rank 45 in class 8, former double Oceania champion and silver medalist in 2019. In the round of 16 they beat Brazil, in the quarter-final they beat France, and in the semi-final they beat Nigeria, all of those being 2-0.
対するオーストラリアもすべて2対0で退けてきましたブラジル戦、フランス戦、ナイジェリア戦と勝ち上がりました3人で臨んでいますジョエル・コグラン選手33歳オセアニアチャンピオンでもあります2019年そしてランキング3位のリン・マー選手がいます31歳ですね3回のワールドチャンピオンの経験がありますこの大会でも銀メダリストに輝いていますもう一人ネイサン・ペリシエ選手25歳の選手は前のダブルスのオセアニアチャンピオンでもあります今回銀メダルにも輝いています3人で臨むオーストラリアです
So the doubles have been completed. We now move on to the singles, and representing People's Republic of China we have Lian Hao, and representing Australia Lin Ma. So it's all to play for. It's 1-0 at the moment to People's Republic of China, and the match is about to get underway. Fan Hao from People's Republic of China wins 3-0, 11-7, 11-5, 11-6.
ご覧のように男子団体クラス9 to 10圧倒的な強さでした。シングルスも若干18分で取りまして3対0、トータルでは2対0、勝ったのは中華人民共和国でした。
So both matches won 3-0, which basically means once again the men's team class 9 to 10 champions are going to be are the People's Republic of China, and our victory ceremonies will follow very shortly indeed. We've got the men's teams class 1 to 2 and then the men's teams class 9 to 10. Victory ceremonies will be up very shortly before we bring the curtain down on this Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020.
この後準備が整いましたら順次表彰式を行っていきます。今しばらくお待ちください。
Well, as we're about to put the curtain down, or pull the curtain down, or draw the curtains too, depends which way you do it, I suppose, on the Paralympic Games for table tennis, we've just got two final things to do, and that's the victory ceremonies. The men's teams class 1 to 2 and the men's teams class 9 to 10, both will occur presently.
皆様にご案内します。この後用意が整い次第、男子団体クラス1から2の表彰式を行います。しばらくお待ちください。
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's teams class 1 to 2.
皆様、ただいまより男子団体クラス1から2の表彰式を行います。
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください。
Konnichiwa and irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. We're coming to you live from Tokyo Metropolitan Gymnasium, and this is men's team classes 1 and 2, the victory ceremony. So our medalists make their way out to the podium to collect what they have earned.
Quite a few familiar faces returning here, as we have once again seen the repetition of Rio 2016 final in this team event, men's teams class 1 and 2.
The longevity in the sport is unbelievable. We see players into their 50s representing their nation, but also players in their young 20s. So across the board, a pretty good mix and some very strong teams indeed.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Mrs. Roxana Maracineanu, Minister of Sports, France.
ロクサーナ・マラシーネアン
Presenting the medals, Mrs. Roxana Maracineanu, Minister of Sports in France,
Accompanied by
続きまして
accompanied by
Konstantina Krota.
Miss Konstantina Krota, ITTF Para Table Tennis Committee
コ
Chair.
ンスタンティナ・クロッタ国際卓球連盟パラ卓球委員会会長
Bronze medalists representing Poland And representing Slovakia,
And the 2, or if you want 4 medals, bronze medals will go to Poland and Slovakia. To these 4 men sharing the podium as semi-finalists of this event. For Poland, Rafał Czuper and Tomasz Jakimczuk. Here just giving the medals to each other. The first Team Paralympic medal for both of them. Czuper already with a silver from his singles events. And Martin Ludrowski for Slovakia, getting his medal here and hanging it around his teammate Jan Riapoš. The 7th Paralympic Games for Jan Riapoš, his 6th Paralympic medal, but the first one in bronze. So at his 6th Olympics, he finally gets to complete the set. The Paralympic mascot, Someiti, on the victory bouquet. Back at the medal ceremony for the first time after the London 2012 Paralympics.
Representing Republic of Korea.
And now we move on to our silver medalists representing South Korea. On the left, Cha Soo-young, 41 years old, world rank number 4 in Class 2. In the middle, Kim Hyun-ug, world rank number 5 in Class 1. And on the right, Park Jin-chul, world rank number 3 in Class 2. He's 39 years old, and it is his first Paralympic Games, only the second for Cha Soo-young. So it seems that they will carry on the tradition. The team spirit. Oh, nope, changed the mind. It looked like for a moment it was going to happen, but there it is. Practical, but good team spirit as well.
A bit more difficult undertaking for those Class 2 quadriplegics, but worth the try.
I like it. The intention is very clear. The team spirit, no doubt, we saw through these Korean men. Very well fought throughout. We knew that they would be a force to be reckoned with and expected to see them deep in the tournament. So a proud moment for the silver medalists representing South Korea in the classes 1 and 2 event here for men's teams. And the defending gold medalists back to back, making France very proud. We have Fabien Lamiraud on the left and Stéphane Moléons on the right. Lamiraud, 41 years old, world rank number 1, gold medalist in Rio in singles, bronze in London in 2012, father of 3, and a late bloomer, starting table tennis at 20 years old. Yet a gold medalist, and if you saw this gold medal team contest, there is no doubt these are 2 that you do not want to mess with, but you want to learn from. Inspiration for the world. Touch, control, defense, wisdom, tactically brilliant, and the hands to take them the gold medals in the final. Now, if this is the last time we see Stéphane Moléons, it'll be a very proud moment for his friends, his family, his fans, and patriots. Again, a gold medal around the neck, flowers high. We hope to see more of him, but we wish the best for all of these athletes and whatever it is that they want. Again, gold medals for France, courtesy of Stéphane Moléance and Fabien Lamiraud.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And now, the national anthem of France. If you can,
皆様
please stand.
フランス国歌の演奏です。
And loud cheers from the crowd, as always when France wins in para table tennis. And these two have done it for the second time in a row.
So the masks come off. For the photos that you can find on the internet that will circulate, we will see news coverage around the world, and especially in the regions that they represent, that they have made so proud. Once again, Poland, Slovakia, Korea, and last but not least, the gold medalists, France, for their outstanding performances here in the men's team event for classes 1 and 2. We hope you've been inspired and reminded the joy of playing. And after all the hard work, don't expect to play at their level. It takes incredible devotion and time, and most of us will never reach this level to be a Paralympic gold medalist, but it doesn't stop the game from being fun. Outstanding exercise and an everlasting challenge. A sport for all, a sport for life. Whether you start late or you start young, it's never too late to enjoy. So come together, call your friends, gather around. And when it's safe, however you can, encourage those around you to join you. Give them a hand, help them out, and play more table tennis. It brings the world together, as you can see right here on the podium. So as the players head back to probably celebrate, call their relatives, their friends, and enjoy their last hours here in Tokyo, we ask you to stick around because we have one more victory ceremony. And you can see the stars, enjoy the moments. You're watching Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. Congratulations once again to Poland, Slovakia, Korea, and our gold medalists, France.
さあ卓球会場いよいよですね。男子団体クラス1から2の表彰式を終えたところです。この後本大会最後の表彰式になります。男子団体クラス9から10の表彰式を行います。今しばらくお待ちください。
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's teams class 9 to 10.
皆様、ただいまより男子団体クラス9から10の表彰式を行います。
Please welcome the medalists.
メダリストをお迎えください。
Konnichiwa and irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Tokyo 2020, the Paralympic Games. This is the wonderful world of table tennis. And we are getting into the victory ceremony, the last one of the Paralympic Games. It is men's teams, classes 9 and 10.
One last thing to do before we wrap up on this para table tennis Paralympic tournament of Tokyo 2020. A year late, but it was an event worth waiting for.
Well said indeed. Definitely worth the wait. Lots of silver lining, and for some, I'd say the fact that it happened at all was an amazing feat during these times. A real treat. What a privilege to be able to be here and or to watch this. A reminder of the hope and how important hope can be during challenging times. And that plus 1 year closer to the next Olympic Games.
Mr. Maihara Masahiro.
Our presenter for this one last event, Mr. Maihara Masahiro, Executive Vice President of the International Table Tennis Federation,
Miss Konstantina Krota, Chair of the ITTF.
accompanied by Miss Konstantina Krota, Chair of the ITTF Para Table Tennis Committee.
These are two people who have given a lot to table tennis over the years. Maihara-san, unbelievable the legacy that he leaves behind him already, and still a lot more to go giving to the sport.
First up, the two teams coming for the bronze medals, Nigeria and Ukraine. The two semi-finalists in this event. For Nigeria, Tajuddin Ajunbiade, Victor Ferinlo, and Alabi Olufemi. For Ukraine, Leo Katz and Ivan Mai. Ajunbiade, the two-time gold medalist from Sydney, but the first ever Paralympic medal for the other two, as this is the first team medal for the Ukrainians. Ivan Mai bronze in singles before.
And now our silver medalists coming from a land down under, Team Australia. On the left, Joel Coghlan. Coghlan rather. In the middle, Ma Lin, 31 years old, world ranked number 3 in his 4th appearance at the Paralympic Games. Coghlan actually 33 and world ranked number 55, his first appearance. And Nathan Pellissier is world ranked number 45 in class 8. He's 25 years old, and the Australians have a lot to look forward to. In para table tennis, they have been very strong, very present in the medal rounds, and playing a gold medal match today they were looking very strong, but there was only one team that they weren't able to beat here.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champions, representing People's Republic of China.
金メダリスト、パラリンピックチャンピオン、中華人民共和国。
And here come the champions, Team China. Just too strong. Lian Hao, 26 years old, world ranked number 3 in class 10. And Zhao Yiqing, world ranked number 7, 28 years old, in his second appearance at the Paralympic Games in class 9. And for Lian Hao, it's his third appearance and third gold in teams.
And this is the 16th gold for China in para table tennis at Tokyo 2020.
16th, my goodness. Again, China setting the standards for table tennis around the world, giving everyone something to aspire to. Lian Hao on the left, and Zhao Yiqing on the right, the taller of the two. And now, the most famous national anthem in table tennis in modern history, the Chinese national anthem. If you can, please stand. So there you have it, making a nation of about 1.4 billion strong. Very proud. Team China delivering the goods after years and years, decades even, of hard work to understand how to move their bodies, control the spin of that tiny little light ball that has led to so much pleasure, inspiration, and hope for players around the world. Congratulations to Ukraine, Nigeria, Australia, and China, the gold medalists.
And adding a total of 26 table tennis medals at this event, adding to the already impressive count of 99 before Tokyo 2020.
Well, they are definitely racking them up, and the players will come together, invited in by the Chinese. Nigeria, one of the top 2 nations in table tennis in Africa, without a doubt. So I think there's some real rise in the sport between Egypt and Nigeria. Looking forward to seeing Africa continue to climb. We saw a lot of strong players in the wheelchair events as well from Nigeria. And Ukraine, of course, being very well represented here at the Paralympics. Australia, incredibly strong. A nation that is going to be preparing for an Olympic Games of their own. And China, what would table tennis do without them? Congratulations, Lian Hao, Zhao Yiqing, the gold medalists, and the rest of our medalists in class 9 and 10 in the men's team event. Well, it's been a spectacular 2 weeks here in Tokyo. Paralympics getting bigger, better, more exciting, and quite frankly, just more exposed. I mean, the more people that see them fall in love with the athletes and how dramatic, charismatic, and spectacular the event can be. So I can't wait for Paris 2024. But until then, what are your thoughts?
At least we won't have to wait as long as we did for Tokyo.
Well, Tokyo 2020
This is a wrap on an exciting event. Great matches after 2 years of no competition. We got to see the best table tennis has to offer at this time.
Well, I think it's only appropriate to say thank you to everyone who helped make this possible, to the countless volunteers, workers, committee throughout Tokyo and Japan. Thank you to everyone for the work, the endless amount of hours, countless put in to make this worldwide global event something to just remind us all how life can be. And after the 5-year wait, as you mentioned, 3 is gonna feel like a breeze. You've been watching the wonderful world of table tennis. If you miss it, search it on YouTube, get out there, play more when you can. And we look forward to having you in our wonderful world. So there you have it. It's been an incredible 2 weeks right here in Tokyo. We look forward to seeing you on the table. Play more, watch more table tennis. You can find it online, YouTube, wherever you can find it. And Tokyo 2020, well, tanoshikatta, it's been fun. We look forward to seeing you guys soon. The Paralympics in table tennis have come to a beautiful and sweet end in Tokyo tonight. So until Paris 2024, matane, we'll see you soon, and take care.